What's up, Urban Acolyte Army? My name is Prince and I'm an Urban Acolyte. This video, I want to talk to you about this news that just came from StarWarsNews.net regarding Lucasfilm and the alleged shutdown of the standalone films that we heard about yesterday. I did a little over an hour live stream, so you can check that video if you haven't seen it yet. But we've got more details on the story. The story is unfolding. So according to Star Wars News Net, ABC News reports that Lucasfilm has stated that they have multiple films still in development. Now, does that include the standalone films? No, it sounds like that the Star Wars story standalones have been put on hold, but there are multiple films beyond what has been announced that are still in development. So recall that the story earlier in the week is that there were 9 Star Wars films in development. We assume that, of course, one is Star Wars Episode 9, a possible Obi-Wan Kenobi standalone film, a Boba Fett movie, whatever the Dave and Dan, the Game of Thrones guys, whatever they're working on, the Rian Johnson, the first episode in the trilogy that he is overseeing. The official, unofficial news is that Lucasfilm told ABC News, recall that ABC is also owned by Disney, so this is probably more legitimate than a lot of the unofficial stories we've gotten so far. But Lucasfilm told ABC News that there are still multiple Star Wars films currently in development that have not been officially announced. Those projects are moving forward separate from an already announced Star Wars trilogy being overseen by The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson and another series of movies from Game of Thrones producers David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Right? So Lucasfilm hasn't gotten into the specifics of any of those projects. It doesn't confirm anything regarding the reports that the Obi-Wan Kenobi and Boba Fett projects have been halted, but it's possible that those projects have been put on hold. And then they go on a report that there's another rumor that the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie might have been put on hold or shelved because it's rumored that Stephen Daldry left the Kenobi project way before Solo's opening weekend, and that project being shelved or put on hold has nothing to do with Solo's box office or a boycott or anything else. So we don't know what's going on, and that's why I've been telling you guys, right? The boycott bunch, okay, they might have been successful in making some viral content here on YouTube, but until they find something of substance to talk about, that boycott thing, it's gonna crash and burn once people move on to the next big thing. And casual fans don't know anything about a boycott. Casual fans don't care about the backlash because they're not consuming content on YouTube or on the vlogs. You know, I talk to people in the street who don't know anything about Urban Acolyte, Star Wars Explained, Star Wars Theories, Stupendous Wave, none of this stuff, right? Because those are the people that I'm talking to, the people that grew up on Star Wars or were watching Star Wars as teenagers, young adults back in the 70s. On the platform, YouTube as a whole, it's just not that many people. So they're not reading the blogs, they're not watching these videos, they're not watching what Jeremy at Freaks and Lamers is posting and following Alex Becker's stuff, right? Because that's just not, that's not the audience that's on YouTube. The older Star Wars fans, they're more likely listening to podcasts if they're listening to anything at all. So I'm not giving anything to the boycott bunch, and it's not because I have my head stuck in the sand. It's because I'm one of those older people who's not, you know, watching all that stuff and looking for it, right? If you're commenting on what needs to happen, what should happen, what ought to happen, but you don't know anything about the movie business, you're never gonna pick up a camera or write a screenplay or write anything ever, then you know you're entitled to your opinion. But it's just that, it's just your opinion. It doesn't mean it's right, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just that's what you think. That's what you think ought to happen. But what you think ought to happen isn't necessarily going to be what should happen and what will happen, right? So we all can express our opinions, but we need to remember it's just that it's our opinion. And it's not what necessarily is going to happen. What we think is best for Star Wars may not necessarily be what is best for Star Wars, right? So we all need to remember that, whether it sounds like a good idea or a not so good idea. And at the end of the day, the story is the story. It's like I've been saying, the story is the story. There's nothing you can do to change that. Even if you think you can raise a couple $100 million to remake The Last Jedi, the story is still going to be the story. You might remake the movie, but the story is still the story. You will have made an unofficial version of the movie, and that's all it ever will be. And good on you if you can raise 200, 300, 400 million dollars to make a feature movie. Why not take that money and make an original story that you actually will own the rights to, right? Or why not use that money to do something like help kids, right? Since that's all I'm hearing about right now is these kids that are being separated from their parents at the border. I'm not trying to get political. There's some kids here in America or there in whatever country you're listening to this in, that you could help with that money, instead of, oh, I'm gonna raise a bunch of money because I hate The Last Jedi. That is those are first world problems, and you are a first world fool, right? Pull your head out of your ass and do something for the betterment of humanity. But I'm gonna hop off my soapbox. That's the news with my opinion, and tried to kick a little bit of knowledge to y'all. But what do you think about this? The fact that there are a whole lot of things planned for the future of Star Wars, multiple movies that we don't know anything about. And that's kind of something I've been telling people, right? You get mad about what you see now, but you don't know what has been planned out 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Like I said in my response to Alex Becker, go do what Marvel's do. You don't know that isn't in the plans, because what I've always been saying, and this is official, that Kathleen Kennedy wants to do is turn Lucasfilm into a serious film house, right? They want Lucasfilm Studios, like Marvel Studios. Marvel's doing multiple movies a year. That's what Kathleen Kennedy, that's what I believe she wants her legacy to be at Lucasfilm. And if y'all can't say, hey, we got to go through some pain to get to the promised land of tomorrow, then that maybe you need to go learn how to meditate. Maybe you need to learn to see the bigger picture and accept that my present doesn't necessarily have to be what my future is. That level of discomfort is in the past, right? You don't like Rose, you don't like the alleged liberal feminist social justice agenda. All that's in the past, baby. What's in the present? The problem is a lot of people, you're standing in the present, but you're facing backwards. So you're looking in the past and you can't see what's coming. And that's all I got to say on that. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll be checking back to see what you all have to say. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click that subscribe button and take your first steps towards joining the Urban Acolyte Army. Embark on the journey of becoming the hero of your own story and become a force for change in your community. Continue to support the channel. You can do that by sharing your favorite videos from this channel with your friends who might not know about the Urban Acolyte Army. School them into some game, man. Help me out. We supposed to be growing the army. So help me grow by sharing this video. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you always.